Let us give some charity, some tzedakah. Tzedakah is actually also an expression of saying thank you to God for whatever God is giving us. And we recognize that all that we have is actually His. And we say thank you to Him. So we give to the other. And talking about giving thank you, in the time of the temple, there was actually one of the sacrifices which was called Korban Toida. The offering for Toida, as we say in Hebrew, Toda Rabbah, thank you. There are certain events that clearly required a special thank you to God, to the point of bringing an offering. Today we don't have offerings, we don't have the sacrifices, yet coming any moment with Mashiach. So we replaced it with the Birkat HaGomel, the special blessing that one would say after these events that we're going to discuss will be called up to the Torah on a Monday or a Thursday or Rosh Chodesh or on Shabbos or Yom Tov when the Torah is being read in a synagogue, and then he would say a special blessing, basically expressing gratitude to God for having saved me from the predicament that I was in. Others would also do a Suda Seidah, a festive meal of gratitude, inviting people and sharing the situation that they were in and how, with God's help, they were saved. So which are those events? Really, it's a chapter in Tehillim. Psalm 107. It says, Hoidol Hashem ki toiv. Give thanks to the Lord. Why? Ki la'olam chazeh, for His kindness is everlasting. And there it mentions 4 different situations where a person is to give those thanks. One, it says, they lost their way in the wilderness. Talking about Hoil Chimidbor is the one who goes through the desert. Desert is a dangerous place. And having survived, traveling through the desert and survived, deserves a special thank you to God. Then he says, those who sit in darkness and the shadow of death, bound in misery and chains of iron, referring to people who have been in captivity or in prison. After being released, we have to say the Goimel. Further, there's a passage that says, they cried out to the Lord in their distress, and He saved them from their afflictions, serious illnesses. If a person has been in a life-threatening medical situation, Baruch Hashem, when he's better, is supposed to bring those expressions of gratitude. Then we have those who go down to the sea in ships. Sea traveling is a dangerous situation. Even today, with all these modern and safety nets that they build into the ships, we constantly hear of different tragedies. In fact, same thing applies today. If a person travels over the ocean by plane, they will have to say the Birchas HaGomel. How do we translate this into spiritual behavior, into our spiritual lives? So the Rebbe says these 4 are an integral part of our daily challenges. And it starts with Yor de Hayam, the ocean of life, our daily grind, where the waves of the daily preoccupations envelop us, surround us, and we're drowning in it. Surviving it, we need God's help. Desert, different from the ocean. We're on the desert, but it's dry. Dryness means there is no spiritual feeling. Dry bones, there's no life. A lifeless behavior in spiritual context. That's extremely dangerous. Imprisoned? Yes, we're all imprisoned. We're all imprisoned in this exile. In general, but we have a personal prison. We're all bound and entrapped How about in our modern technology? We are slaves in prison to our phones, and so on and so forth. And finally, sickness. Sickness is an expression of something missing. We're missing health. Certain things don't function well. So tzaddikim are love sick. They're sick because they can't express their full love to God. Most of us, some of us don't even recognize that we are sick. We're missing something in our relationship with God. So says the Pasuk, we have to say Birchas HaGoimel, we have to understand that we have to come out of all these situations. And this coming out of this situation, Kila Olam Chazda, the eternal kindness of God, which is the coming of Mashiach.